Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back for another Chainsaw Man chapter review, and Asa makes a new weapon here at the end of the chapter, and we get some good character development with her and Denji, and some good moments, I think. But we start off seeing this crazy girl. My theory is this is Kobeni's one of her younger siblings that she's supposed to like pay for college and stuff. But we see her going crazy. She's like licking the glass that Denji and Asa are sitting in. Like, I don't really know how they got in there, but they're in there sitting in the water. So they're sort of talking about starfish and like which ones are edible and stuff. And Asa says, we can technically eat some of them, but like, they're toxic. And she says, you have to boil them to make them safe to eat. And Denji's like, no problem. Like, we got a pot lid right here. We can boil them in that. And I swiped this lighter from the glass liquor. Because, she said that her bullies would make her light their cigarettes. So she always carries a lighter. But they basically make a little boiling pot for these starfish, and Asa asks, why are there so many school hats here? Because Denji's just been collecting school hats, and he's saying that he's doing that to make money, to sell them back. And Asa's like, why are you so obsessed about making money? And we get some amazing like reveals from Denji, and just letting Asa know that he's got this friend. He's saying like sort of friend, sort of little sister, because of Nayuta, and he's saying that she lives with him, and he wants to make her go through college because she's really smart. And he said, like, college is super expensive. He lived a bad life, so he wants her to live a good life. And this is such a heartwarming scene from Denji, because he's never shown as, like, caring about people. But right here, he's showing that he sort of cares about Nayuta. I would say loves her. Probably they're gonna have a good relationship, I think. And, Asa, she sees this, and she's like, oh, wow, this is actually, like, really nice. So Asa, she starts explaining how you eat the meat out of a starfish, and like you gotta split it open and stuff, and you gotta eat it. And Denji's like, this don't taste good. And even Asa, she's eating it just because she has to eat and she's hungry. But she's like, this ain't enough food for me. Like, I actually need to eat something. And she says, what are those fish? And she's like, can I have some? And I think we're getting more reveals about what this, trauma she has with fish, but she starts eating it and she's like, she's sort of like gagging when she eats this, and Denji's sort of like laughing, and he's like, you're fun. Like, cause, she's funny to Denji, and she's like, fun? Like, what? And Denji's like, yeah, you're not totally boring. Like, everything you say is, but like, watching you is really interesting, cause you do funny stuff. And she's like, huh? She's like, yeah, that's right. I'm an interesting woman. And then he's like, yeah. And she's like, I'm fun, right? And then he's like, yeah. And then she says, I'm glad you noticed. You have a good eye. I'm charming, aren't I? And she's just getting like, she's puffing her chest out. Nobody really tells her this stuff, I'm guessing. So she's actually like, wow, you're proving me right. Because, Asa sort of, she's full of herself. But Denji's like, I like that attitude. It reminds me of an old friend. And I literally, when I read that, I was like, let's go. Because, obviously it's power. Because Power was so self-confident in herself, and, she was always hyping herself up and stuff, and was super loud. But it's great. Denji's like, I like you because you remind me of Power. And it's awesome. And then Asa's like, that's good, right? And she looks over at the hats, and I'm not sure what this panel's supposed to mean. Maybe more hats are accruing. I'm not sure, because this might be like a plot thing where more hats are showing up. But she basically goes back down and she's eating the food. And she's like, Denji, I think I have a way out of here. And she asks him to help her because, she has an interesting plan she thought of. And Denji asks, what is the plan? And she says, we have to collect all this money. Because Denji's been collecting money, and it's an infinite hallway with, like, the money just keeps respawning because, if it was sat there in the last place, it's going to be, reset in the next place. So they're basically walking around, and Denji's like, that's 1,000 yen in the backpack back there. There's a wallet in the lounge, with 14,000 yen inside. So they're just running around collecting as much money as they can. So we see Asa and Denji running around stealing all this money, and it looks like she's having fun, and so is Denji. And these are just really nice panels to see, like, just Denji and Asa genuinely having fun, like, doing something in this sort of really shitty situation. And I like it. I think this is a friendship that could blossom into something more because, they're both protagonists. And I think they might either just become friends, or I don't think a romantic connection will happen just because I'm not really sure, but I think they can become really good friends. But yeah, they're running around, and then they collected over 1 million yen. They say like that's a good amount of money. That's like $100,000 US. But they're like, yo, what do we gotta do with this? And Asa's like, give it to me, all of it. Hey guys, if you're liking the Chainsaw Man content and want a new chapter review every week, just like and subscribe. Back to the video. And Denji's like, no siree, no, you are not taking all this money. And she's like, okay, once we're done with this, I'll grant you any request. And Denji's like, okay, have it. You know, just stuff that Denji always does. Like, I'll give you tongue. He automatically says yes. If you say that, you will give him any request. He will say yes, just because he's a horny motherfucker. She says, do exactly what I say. And Denji's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So he has to go over, like, away and close his eyes and cover his ears. And he does this. And Asa, she's resolved to do something. She doesn't want Denji to see what she's about to do. And I think she told him about the War Devil in the other chapters, or she said something about it. But she said, okay, have some confidence, Asa. It doesn't matter how crazy the logic is, but anything can happen. It's a matter of your own perception. So she sits there, she's like, okay, I pay the 1,000,000 yen in this bag to buy this aquarium. Now, we know from Yoru, you can only make weapons from your possessions. And the guiltier you are about making them into weapons, the stronger they will be. So, she's saying, like, in her own perception, it's a matter of her own perception. So, in her head, she said, I'm using this 1,000,000 yen to buy this aquarium. Whether or not it's legal or not, I'm still just going to use this 1,000,000 yen to buy this aquarium. So it's mine now. And she says, okay, aquarium spear. Now, I'm not sure about the guilt that will make this weapon stronger. The thing is, what I thought, I was like, okay, she's guilty about taking the money from Denji, which he was going to use to pay for college tuition. And, you know, he's taking care of this little girl. She knows this. And I guess that would make her feel guilty. But, yeah, she's turning this aquarium into a spear. And I guess from her logic, it'll make the aquarium go away and maybe just be a spear. And then they'll maybe run into this Eternity Devil and maybe Yoru and the Famine Devil. I'm not sure. But this was a really good chapter. It's really nice to see Denji and Asa sort of having fun and sort of building a connection because, you know, they are our main characters and we'd like to see them, you know, fight together maybe sometime. But we might be getting our first big fight scene with maybe Denji and Asa soon. Or maybe just Asa will fight and Denji won't even go Chainsaw Man because, you know, Hirafume is here and you don't want him to reveal he's Chainsaw Man. But let me know what you thought about the chapter. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and peace.